Your brand is not your logo. Your brand is not your color scheme. Your brand is not your palette. I meet so many entrepreneurs that are spending too much time on logos and on color palettes. That is not your brand. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. It's the emotion that your organization evokes. If you're gonna build wealth, if you're gonna build a business, one thing is certain, you need to have a strong brand. Here are 3 things that you can do to build a brand that will produce wealth. One thing is certain, if you're gonna build a brand, then you need to be very loud about your values. Number 1, be loud about your values. You cannot be loud about your values if you don't know your values. Craft 2 or 3 values that are not only true to you, but they are also personal to you. Values like honesty, values like simplicity, values like transparency, values like openness. It is very important that you know yourself and craft values that are reflective of not only of who you are, but also of the type of organization that you're going to build. And then deeply engross and ingrain those values into organizational culture. Ensure every process in the business is reflective of those values. You cannot talk about running an innovative business, but when we study your income statement, you don't have any expenses on research and development. You don't have any expenses on innovation. You are only innovating on paper. Your innovation is on your logo. Shut up your mouth. You cannot talk about innovation if you're not spending on innovation. That means then, when we encounter your brand, we will not feel the innovation vibe because your brand is what people say about your business when you're not inside the room. Think about African businesses. Think about the big banks in Kenya, the big banks in Uganda, the big banks in Tanzania, the big banks in Cape Town, the big banks in Nigeria, the telecommunication ones. One time there was this campaign. It was a very interesting campaign. And this time there were 2 brands, and now this is the perfect example. And one of these big telecommunications company was green, and the other one was red. And the whole campaign was about who is more honest in delivering data bundles into your phone. I know you know what I'm talking about. I'll put a link to that ad. Maybe, I don't know. I'll ask my lawyers. You know, some of these things are very sensitive. But the truth is, when the campaign was done, the idea was that one brand is not honest with what they give you when you purchase bundles, while the other brand claims through the advertisement that they actually give you exactly what you pay for. That begins to create a flavor of either an honest brand or a dishonest brand. Are you beginning to see that is more than colors? You are spending too much time on shapes and colors and catchy phrases. That is not how you build a brand. You build a brand by first knowing yourself and crafting very strong values that are communicable across your organization. Here's the number 2 thing. The number 2 thing that you must do to build a strong brand is that you must be consistent across all touch points. I know a serious brand when the blue on Instagram is the blue on Facebook, and when the blue on Facebook is the blue on TikTok, and when the blue on TikTok is the blue on LinkedIn. Now colors are beginning to come in. The brand presentation, there has to be seriousness around how your brand is presented. Do you realize you will find a startup person where, you know, Facebook is on point, but when you come to Instagram, the brand is even warped. That is surface level. Here's a deeper level. That the messaging, the tone, the voice of the brand is consistent across all platforms. In one platform, you cannot be a politician on Facebook and you're a businessman on Instagram. Decide a struggle, baby. Choose a line and stick to it. Our brand is about building wealth. Our brand is about breaking the curse of poverty. Our brand is about elevating you to becoming a business owner, elevating you to break the circle of poverty and entering into dignity, elevating you to becoming a game changer, you know, a society mover. That's what our brand is about. And we are doing everything. Even my personal real estate business that I do it in a way that it communicates that same brand. Here's the number 3 thing. The number 3 thing that you must do if you're going to build a strong brand is interaction. Customer feedback is your number one research and development. Customer feedback is free R&D. If you are not engaging with your audience, you are leaving money on the table. That is money that you later spend on R&D. Interact with your audience, interact with your customers, and begin to get feedback. I love some coffee shops here in Kenya, Nairobi. There are coffee shops you go, you pay. Immediately you pay, you have a survey form immediately. And they're asking you questions. How was our service? How was our billing? How was our waiter? How was our ambience? They're getting free R&D and they're constantly improving. And that is why, those are businesses that will constantly be here. Those are businesses that will raise money. Those are businesses that will make money. Those are businesses that will make a profit. It is very important that if you're building a brand, you need to be strategic enough to do these three things. One of the brands that is completely strong, especially in East Africa, is a brand called Java Coffee House. Java Coffee House is doing a brilliant job. They are very consistent in all their touch points. I know many of us have different ideas about that, different views about that. But if you study Java, you'll realize that the experience of Java in Kampala and the experience of Java in Nairobi is exactly the same. The menu is almost similar. The serving times is almost similar. They have curated a brand that is consistent across geographies. Do you want to build a brand that scales? Do you want to build a brand that will attract investors? Do you want to build a brand that will attract a followership that is almost cultic? Follow us for more content like this.